Good morning. Okay, so we always start in easy pose so that the purpose of this pose, the purpose of just chilling in the beginning, is so that we can recalibrate our minds from the yang energy, the busy, busy, go, go, rush, rush, oh my gosh, up here, to the yin, which is slower, more relaxed, more grounded, more in control. Slow and in control. That's where you want to be as often as you can be, because for balance purposes, the rest of the world's handling the yang energy. It's throwing us the yang energy. We're going to have that one no matter what we want. The yin is something that we really have to practice. We have to practice. So we sit here, not cross-legged, one for the other. Just those sit bones, sitting up tall and straight through the crown, elongating the spine, shoulders back and down, heart center open. So it's like, you ever seen Sailor Moon? Where they're like, and they transform? It's like that, okay? A lot of those animes really, they took energy work and ran with it, okay? It's if you can relate almost all of it, pretty much all of it, to energy work and everything that we talk about here, which is really fun. Anyway, nerd side, geek side, different. Anyway, okay, so bringing the breath down into the belly, we're utilizing that diaphragm. Shallow chest breathing is a stress response. You don't want to be up here at all. You want to bring it all down here. So we're relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the face, grounding our energy into the floor, and then we're moving, hinging at the hips, okay? So this is the area that you want to move from, and we're playing with the directions here. There's no correct direction, there's no wrong direction. It's a 360 degree movement ability here. So what we're doing, I want to encourage you to just play with the directions, feel your body, feel the muscles, feel what you're feeling, and let it direct you, essentially. So noticing how the stretches feel, noticing what your body says about it. And I don't mean good or bad. We're never labeling anything as good or bad. We're chaotic neutral, okay? Chaotic neutral. It feels like we need to lean into it, or it feels like we need to back off of it. That's about it. It feels stiff. It feels like it needs to stretch. It feels nothing, you know. If you feel a stretch, you're doing it great. Let's add a little twist. Again, always sitting up tall through that spine, through that crown. Shoulders are always rolled back. Heart center is always open in all of the poses. And we'll switch legs. Readjust. And do it all over again. Checking in with how we feel today, physically, mentally, emotionally. Again, not labeling it as good or bad, just noticing, like a third party, like you're taking a step back in your awareness and noticing everything about yourself from a different standpoint, an outside perspective, if you can. If you cannot, then great, that's where you need to practice. Or that's why we're here to practice. Let's add the arms this time, stretching up through the fingertips to come over. You don't want to this leg, you don't want that to pop up. So if that's as far as you go before that starts popping up, then that's as far as you go, okay? You want to keep it flat, stretching through the fingertips, through the ribs, through the hips. Remembering to breathe. Let me back up a little bit seconds. There we go. We'll figure all this out as we go. It's just gonna get better from here. Oh. Let's go across, again with a gentle twist. We're never, ever, 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 ever forcing anything. Creating space in the neck and the shoulders. Always meeting our body where it's at. Never pressuring it to go any further than what it's capable of today, which will change every day. Alright, now let's get into our wide-legged forward fold, or wide-legged forward sit. You back up a little bit more. There's no good way to angle these cameras to where everything works out perfectly. I really have no idea how they do it other than multiple cameras. But we'll figure it out. Leading with the chest and chin, like you're trying to get your chin to the floor, is how we're going to make sure that back stays straight. Can rub out any muscles that are talking to you, pet them, tell them it's okay. They're going to be all right. Sitting up tall and straight, we're going to turn towards one leg. Square up best you can, so with the shoulders straight towards the leg. Lifting up through the fingertips as we come down, stretching through the fingertips. Inside arm goes on the outside of the foot. And we try to hold these stretches for a little bit longer than what other people would have you hold them. Most of us go through our stretches entirely too quickly. Our body needs time to recalibrate and relax so that it can stretch. Because at first it's going to tense up to protect you. It takes it about 2 minutes to realize that you're not in trouble and that it can relax. If you're not to the foot, that's fine. You can use a yoga strap to pull yourself, or you can just be here. That's fine. If here's where you are today, then here's where you are today. And then we'll come over here to the other side, squaring up again. Stretching through the fingertips and out, reaching, reaching, reaching as we come down to the foot. You know, make sure that other foot it wants to sometimes do this. You want to keep it pointing at the ceiling, 90-degree angle, pulled back. Breathing, relaxing everything down. Finding patience. And creating space. Sitting up tall through that crown. back to center. Just to see where we are now that we've done one side and then the other. You should see a little bit of a difference. And then we'll counter pose, bringing our feet together for cobbler. Readjust those sit bones. Sit up tall and straight, okay? Posture is super important in this one so that we keep the stretch where we want it. So sitting up tall, leaning with the chest and chin. Trying to stick the chin on the floor. I don't actually expect you to do that, okay? That's just how you... It's a trick to keep your spine straight when you don't have a mirror, because if you don't have a mirror to see your alignment, it's kind of hard to gauge it sometimes. Remembering to breathe. Noticing how the air feels on your skin. Noticing the colors and the textures of everything around you. Sinking into the pose. Relaxing into the pose. Melting into the pose. And then we'll take our feet from where they are and we'll move them about 5 or 6 inches out. Readjust the sit bones. Lean forward again. It's the same stretch, except for now, instead of feeling it on the inside of the thighs, we're feeling it on the outside. Just listening to your body and adjusting how it needs. Again, being wherever you are today. So if you're just up here, that's fine. Don't ever compare yourself to me. Okay? It seems obvious. It is obvious, I suppose. I don't know. Every class almost, though, I have somebody, I call out a pose and they're like, right. I'm like, well, yeah, okay. I've been practicing for like 13 years, something like. You can't compare my 13 years to you, to your, I don't know how long you've been practicing. We all are where we are, right? All right, let's stretch out. Give the legs a shake if you need to. Let me adjust so you can see better. Then we're gonna go up. Again, stretching through the fingertips, stretching through the ribs. Out as we come down. Another great place for a strap if you have one, if you need one. You can also, it doesn't have to be specifically a yoga strap. You can use whatever you have. A blanket, a rope, a belt, whatever you have. You just need something to hold on to and like pull. Gently, always gently. Relaxing everything down. Breathing deeply. Sitting up tall and straight through the spine. Noticing any thoughts that arise. Thanking them for their appearance, existence, and then letting them go on. Because right now we're just stretching and we don't need to worry about anything else. It'll all be there when we're ready, when we're done here. Bring this leg around like a, what'd they call it? A herky? And you jump up like the cheerleaders did. I was not a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader 1 year in like 4th grade. That hardly counts as for anything though. Twisting towards that bent leg. Sitting up tall and straight through the spine, through the crown. Shaking it out. And then look at the other side. Ow. I injured myself yesterday. I'm fine. My kayak fell on it, my foot, and it scraped it up a little bit. Twisting again. Sitting up tall. Breathing. Gentle movement is always great as long as it's slow and controlled, okay? You don't want any momentum built at all because that's how you get a pulled muscle. But gentle movement can help you, like rocking in the pose, can help the body relax a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. All right, shake it out. And let's come up into a squat on our way to standing. Don't feel pressured to have your ankles, your heels on the floor. That's something that comes in time. It's not the goal here. Not right now anyway. And then slowly pushing through the feet to come to standing. Shake that out. Woo. twisty, just loosening things up. This feels really good on my hips. What do you think? Let's start with tree. Now, it's important to note that this is tree. So if you need that little tripod, then that's fine. So this is tree, it's all tree. And your hands are just wherever helps you keep balance. It does not matter. As long as you're standing up tall and straight. It also does not matter what you do as long as you're standing on one foot, honestly. Doesn't matter a bit. We're working on balance right now. All the poses and postures and all of that are essentially, like, they're fancy and all of that. They're not really necessary. Some of them are. Some of them are great. But as far as like this versus this, for our goals, we're just trying to balance right now. So balance on one foot, okay? However you want to do that. I want you to be creative with your practice. I'm here to facilitate, but at no time do you ever have to copy me directly or feel pressured to do what I'm doing. We'll switch sides. Shake that one out. Yoga is a personal practice between you, your body, your mind, and your heart, which is what we're going to call spirit. Because essentially spirit is just what sits well with your heart, right? So if you come up to a pose that I call out and you're like, I can't do it. Well, for one, try to work towards learning to be able to, for sure. But if you have like injuries or some sort of limitations such as that, don't beat yourself up about it, please. Just adjust. Do what you can, where you can. Everything's always a suggestion. We believe in free will around here. Breathing, exploring the body, exploring the muscles. Switching between muscles, that's something that's fun. If one muscle starts to get fatigued or tired, just find another in there, because multiple different muscles can help you do the same pose. That sounds weird. It took me a long time to figure that out. Nobody ever told me. I'll get you some examples here in a second. Just whatever feels good. And then we'll come back down. All right. So here, this right here, because we're going to feet hips width apart. Okay, so like about like that. Knees are always soft. We're going to inhale up. Stretch through those fingers. Stretch through the arms. Stretching out. Reaching as we come down to the floor. Bringing our hands up to the shins. Rolling our shoulders back and down, creating space in the neck. And that's going to help us go a little bit deeper. Letting the head hang heavy. allowing gravity to take hold and pull apart those vertebrae. Allowing the head to hang heavy. Completely letting go of control of it. And then we're going to place our hands. I'm going to walk forward a little bit, but we're going to place our hands on the mat. Take right foot back for our runner's lunge. And in this one is a really good way for me to explain how you just utilize different muscles if you need to. For example, you can engage the legs here. And once those start to try to give out on you, you can shift your weight a little bit to the arms, right? If you need to, is what I mean. You can also use blocks here. Get you some blocks, for sure. Get you some blocks. They help kind of bridge the gap, make things easier. So you can use your blocks here as such. Go step back to plank. A little bit. There are no good camera angles, I'm telling you. Keeping that core pulled in. Breathing. Keeping the hips low. And let's push back to down dog. Pushing through the shoulders, the arms, the upper back. And we'll take our right foot and bring it up here to our right hand. We're our runner's lunge on the other side. Same pose we were just in. Remembering to breathe. Stepping back to plank again. Breathing. Pushing back to down dog. Wait, no, sorry. You can bicycle to the legs if you want to. And then you can hop or step your feet to your hands. Now we're back in our forward fold. Let's come up. widen our stance. We're always slow and controlled. Slow because we're balancing our breath, keeping it even best we can. Let's go up. Stretch the fingertips. Out. Reaching, reaching, reaching as we come down to the floor. This is another good place for your blocks if you need to. Placing one hand on the floor in the center, twisting open with the other. And then switching sides, coming to center first, and twisting open the opposite way. Coming back to center. Let's walk our hands over to one foot. Then coming back to center before walking our hands over to the other foot. And then coming back to center. Coming up. And then let's sit in it. Relaxing those shoulders, creating space in the neck, keeping the core pulled in. And then we'll push back up. All right. How are we feeling? 35 minutes. Look at us. Look at us. 35 minutes worth of self-care. Look at us doing a great job. Ah, yeah. Let's lay down. We earned it, right? All right, let's see. So let's lay down. Let's stretch out one leg. Keep the other bent. Keeping the shoulders on the floor. We're going to roll over towards the straight leg. For a twist. Breathing deeply. Relaxing the face and shoulders. Melting into the mat. Letting gravity do all the work. And coming back to center before switching sides. Because we just want to twist the spine, not kink it out. Stretching through the bottom heel. Scanning through the body. Relaxing and releasing any tension you find, any tightness you find. Breathing, acknowledging the space we've created, how wonderful it is to have this space and opportunity to just stretch and hang out with ourselves. Coming back to center, let's bridge. You don't want to use any butt muscles. You want to hold yourself up by your lower back and your legs, pushing through the heels. breathing. And you can release. Bring the knees up. Give them a hug. Give them a rock. Tell your body how good of a job it's doing, because it is. Release. And let's take this leg and cross it over this leg. So it looks like that right there. Yeah. And then we're going to bring it up. And then hold on wherever you can. And if this is really difficult, because for some it is, again, you really need a block. You just trust me. You want to get a block, okay? You can prop your foot up on it. And if that's not enough, just go ahead and get 2 blocks. You definitely want to get 2 blocks. And that'll help you close the gap to get up here. My hips don't want to cooperate. Coming back to the breath. Checking in again with how you feel today. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Listening to your body, let you know how you're feeling in all of those ways. Because through feelings is how our body communicates with us. It's how our higher selves, or guides, or God, or whatever you want to call them, communicate with us. Through feelings and knowings. But we have to be listening. Which means we have to create space to listen. And then you can release and switch sides whenever you're ready, honestly. You don't have to wait for me. You can move on. If I take too long and you're like, I cannot sit in this any longer, I have to move, then please feel free to do so. If I suggest moving on to the next one and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not done, this one feels good, I just want to stay here, then you do that, okay? Especially since these are recorded, you can always just rewind if you need to, or whatever. Let's take a second to decide how we would like to feel for the rest of the day, the rest of the week. I'm trying to bring that feeling to the surface in the now. Zoning in on how it feels to feel that feeling. That good feeling, that peaceful feeling, that happy feeling, that content feeling. Maybe pulling some things out of our memories that make us feel like that.
always have the capabilities to shift our feelings with just a little bit of intentional practice. Intentional direction of the mind. And you can release, shake it out if you need to. Stretch it out. And then you can come back up to a seated position. Back to our easy pose. To check in with the posture one last time. Opening up that heart center to help us remember to lead and live and speak and act with kindness and compassion for both others and ourselves. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.